5 coaches every year, at least, since 2015, have been fired. We're already at 2. Give me the names of guys or teams that you think are on the precipice to add to the list of the Titans and the Giants over the final few weeks of this season, Mike Florio.
And this exercise, Rich, it always makes me uncomfortable because
I'm with you.
People's lives. It affects families.
Yes, sir.
It affects other coaches. But the most appropriate quote, and Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals coach, who's now on the hot seat, he used a version of it on Monday when he was asked about it. This is Hyman Roth to Michael Corleone in Godfather 2. This is the business we've chosen. And every time a coach is hired by an NFL team, it is just a matter of time, with rare exceptions, before he's fired by that NFL team. That's the way it works. And I did something on Sunday while I was watching your excellent pregame show on NFL Network Tuesday morning. I did a broad brush, like approaching it as a fan. If I'm a fan and I'm just looking at the league right now, which teams are the ones that I'm keeping an eye on the final 8 weeks of the season? And there are 15 teams that I identified. Every coach in the AFC North, depending upon what happens the rest of the way, may be in some degree of danger, grave or otherwise. But Gannon, with 2 ugly losses the past couple of weeks, I think he's getting close. And we know that they don't need WD-40 on the revolving door at Arizona's headquarters. They fire coaches all the time. They've been around more than 100 years, and they've never had a coach for longer than 6 years, and he's in year 3. So that's one that I'm watching very carefully. And, beyond that, what are the Browns going to do? What are they ever going to do? Did Paul DePodesta recently leave on his own, or did he feel that the door is going to close on him? Will they clean house there in Cleveland? Will Mike McDaniel stick around in Miami? They've won a couple of games. Will that help him? What's a new GM want to do? And, I look at, Rich, and I hate to put this out into the universe, but I think it's malpractice for us as analysts and reporters to ignore this. When you have Josh Allen still in his prime, how many years of his prime does he have left? If they don't win the division, if they get a wild card berth and they're one and done, at what point does ownership take a hard look at why? Why aren't we getting more out of Josh Allen? Is it an issue of talent, which would tend to point toward GM Brandon Beane? Is it an issue of coaching, which would point toward Coach Sean McDermott? Is it both? Is it neither? But at some point, you just wonder whether or not that conversation is going to be had within the building. And then you look at the Falcons, with Michael Penix now out for the year and Kirk Cousins playing again, and I think we'll all be reminded of why they shouldn't have given him $90 million guaranteed over 2 years. I think there's a potential for a full house cleaning in Atlanta as well. But there's a lot of different spots. If you look at the entire league, there's a lot of spots where if things go off the rails the rest of the way, we could see, and they used to call it Black Monday. Hell, it happens the day of the final games of the season. Gerard Mayo got the tap on the shoulder in the locker room, for crying out loud, after week 18 last year in his one-and-done season with the Patriots.
So a couple follow-up questions. The first one, just for me here, because we have this drop at our disposal all the time.
Is the business we've chosen.
We have it. Did Jonathan Gannon really reference Hyman Roth, or you're just using that? Did he really?
He didn't reference Hyman Roth,
okay.
but he used a version of that line.
Okay, good. All right.
This is the job we take, or something like that. But it was the same idea. And he said, we joke about it. And my response was, don't joke about it. It's real. And this is why it's incumbent, as we now start to wonder who the next wave of coaches will be. There are certain jobs where you have to go in with your eyes open, that the clock is ticking the moment you get there. The moment you walk through the door, Mona Lisa Vito is stomping on the wooden front porch. You don't get a grace period because the owner is going to be quick to make a change. And, there are dysfunctional teams, and dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things. But too many coaches think, and this is, I think, a product of their success and its confidence that borders on delusion that sometimes becomes hubris. I can be the guy to make it different. But you don't have a whole lot of time to do it. If you don't win right away. I mean, look at Dan Campbell in Detroit. If they didn't turn it around the second half of the 2022 season, how much longer would he have lasted with the Lions? They flipped the switch. And in hindsight, it was good they did, because they were on the front end of what's now a consistent contender. But it did not go well the first year and a half for Dan Campbell. So that's the next question. Where are the coaches going to come from, and who's going to want jobs with the teams that you should objectively look at and say, why would I want that job?
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.